Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up.
Good Monday morning. This is Run It Back, FanDuel TV, joined by my great friends, Chandler Parsons and Lou Williams here. And Charania joining us from his lair out in Chicago as he gets ready for the trade. Are you trade deadline prepping already, Shams?
I mean, 10 days away, so we're ready. We're definitely getting ready right now.
Gotta get all the food and the drinks, and like you're just stuck in that house for a while until then. But the good news is, up until then, we've got things to talk about. And this last week was just a scoring juggernaut, if you will. I'm gonna throw this full screen up. Well, I'm not. Somebody in the control room is. But I just want to point it out. We had 8 players with 40 or more points, 4 of them with 60 or more, and 2 dudes had over 70. Okay. Which one of these was the most impressive? Good luck.
See, I think it was Joel Embiid. Me and Lou are going to argue on this one. I think, first of all, this was a statement game. It was against Wembanyama, national TV. He wanted to prove that he's going to dominate him from start to finish, and it was efficient. He got to the free throw line. I don't think he took his first 3 till the second half. He was just a sheer Shaq performance. They won the game. It was actually closer than I thought it would be. I think they only ended up
Thank you. It was only 10 points.
We're happy with the 10-point loss there. But this was dominant. Career high in rebounds with 18. So to me, this was a tone setter. This was an example. He said, all right, Wemby, you're going to be the future of the NBA, but right now it's mine.
And then he sat out against Jokić, though.
And then he sat out against.
All right.
That's correct.
To piggyback off of Joel Embiid, I guess I was a little tone deaf watching that game because I just remember being on my phone constantly looking up, and I was like, damn. He's not passing the ball at all. And that was
he was gunning for it.
Yeah, that was my initial thought. And then we looked up and was like, he might have 40 at halftime. And so, but my pick is gonna be Luka Doncic. Returning to Atlanta, efficient, 73 points, damn near had a triple-double with it, 10 and 7 to go along with it. And like we always like to talk about, it's against a team that originally drafted him and traded him away for the rights to Trae Young. So we talk about statement games. Him and Trae Young, they have this weird little quiet Cold War rivalry that's not really talked about a lot. So for him to go to Atlanta and do this was very impressive to me. This is going to get my vote.
Yeah, I mean, this game was insane too. And honestly, the best week is Devin Booker. The guy's averaging damn near 50 points. And I would say the PJ Washington,
way to get in there.
He just snuck on that screen, putting up a 40 ball.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that's.
What if that's Sham's favorite performance of the week? Shams,
There's no way it is.
Who are you most impressed by this past week?
I'm breaking the tie. I'm going with Luka Doncic. Anytime you can have the most points since Kobe Bryant, 81, you have to pick that player. Second player since Kobe Bryant to have multiple 60-point games before turning 25 as well. And like Lou just said, he did it against a team that drafted him. He did it against Trae Young. He did it in Atlanta. They were shorthanded without Kyrie Irving, without Dante Exum in the lineup. And I mean, honestly, just watching that game, compared to Joel Embiid's game, Joel Embiid was shooting a lot down the stretch. Luka Doncic, I think, could have had 80. I think there were moments where he passed the ball up. He was in situations where he could have been fouled, went to the free throw line, but he passed the ball. He's making the right basketball play. There was one play he drove, kicked it out to a teammate multiple times. I just think he could have had 80, but he played the right way, and he took what the defense gave, and the defense wasn't really that present against Dallas.
The defense gave him everything, Shams.
So he could have had the 80.
By the way, if we're talking about gunning, Karl Anthony Towns, Ant said they were trying to get him 100 in the first half.
Yeah, and so, didn't even score in the first half. He was watching him.
Right. It's hard when you get going like this, though. You want to get your teammate involved. You want them to set a record. And this was the first week of games where I said, like, oh my God, someone could actually get close to 100 points. Like, what are we saying?
I want to see that.
It's ridiculous how all these games were unbelievable.
So let me ask you, because there are always going to be negatives to everything, right? Are there any negatives to having these types of performances? Is it watering anything down for you?
I think for old head basketball players, I think they're watered down because they're giving them the opportunity to shatter all these records. They are getting to the free throw line a lot. Like when you see Joel Embiid getting 25, 27 free throws, that's not fun for a fan experience. But I will say, fans, kids, they like points. They like scoring. When you grow up, when someone asks you how you played, the first question is, how many points did you have? That's what the NBA is entertaining. That's why it's fun. So I think it's great for the league to have this. But yeah, now as a coach, like a Steve Kerr who hates it, how do you coach the defense now? Because these guys are getting so elite at getting to the line, drawing fouls, getting players in foul trouble to where they are forced to be in the bonus and go to the free throw line. So it goes both ways. But yeah, I think it's more entertaining for fans and for NBA people to watch points being scored in high-scoring games.
Yeah, I think Joel's 70 was first, and I was like, this is great. And then Kat's was next, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like 2 big guys really going at it. And then by the third one, I was like, this looks bad. Yeah. I was like, this looks bad. This is an eyesore because now you're gonna have people complaining about the lack of defense being played. And trust me, guys who are defensive minded in the NBA, they're trying, they're putting out the effort, but the rule stands on the offensive guy's side. We do have to understand we are in the sports entertainment business. Fans love to see a lot of points being scored. It's almost impossible to touch guys now, and they're just rigging. These guys that can score at a high clip, they're just rigging these games up.
Yeah,
but you give a guy like Luka, you give him credit, man. They're making a bunch of shots too.
Yeah, it's not like teams and coaches don't go through training camp and work on their defense and schemes and coverages and stuff. You saw Joel Embiid; he was getting triple teamed at one point. It's
right.
not like they didn't want him to keep scoring this. They were convinced that all right, we're either going to foul him or we're going to make someone else do it. But as a coach, it is getting impossible to be able to teach these guys how to defend without giving up this many points because we already know the three-pointers are going up at a high rate. The pace is played at a faster rate, so naturally there's going to be more points.
What about the idea that Steve Kerr said that changes actually need to be made to defensive positioning? Do you think, is that even realistic?
No, because you can't make these players less talented. They're still going to change the rule to something else. They're going to find ways around it to continue to score, to continue to get the whistle called for them. So it doesn't matter, whatever it is. Look at the load management thing. You can control that to a point, right? Guys are still going to find ways to sit out games and miss games and still meet the threshold of being in these awards. So no matter what it is, I do think coaches, it's tough for, but again, I think this is great for the NBA. I think it's great for the fans because people want to see this entertainment.
My only requirement, though, is you have to win the game. You can't have the 62 and.
Oh yeah, we don't celebrate the.
No.
We don't celebrate
He
the
was
loss.
he was probably the, I don't know if Charlotte
I think
won,
Kat
but
was the only guy.
Two of Devin's were a loss.
I don't know if Portland, I'm assuming, lost when he had 40, but like that to me is the least impressive because they lost.
I think Kat's was the only one that.
No, I think Devin had a couple.
Well, Devin had a 40. One of those 40s is a loss.
Looking at Devin's week, not one game in particular. Even last night, they
one of
lost
those
to
40s
Orlando.
is a 40 and a loss. We've seen that movie before, but a 60 and an L, that's
tough.
kind of.
And you can almost argue they lost the game going to him, trying to feed him.
They got lost. They got lost in a different type
the
of
Zals.
game. Yeah.
I like that. The Luka part of all things, because it's not just the 73 where he sits atop that list. He also had 2 triple-doubles, a 73-point performance against the Hawks, 18 rebounds against the Celtics, 17 assists against the Kings.
Goodness.
Is there a more complete player in your mind?
I'm gonna split this between Luka and Jokić.
Yeah.
All right.
Those two guys are just unbelievable to me in the way that they're able to have nights where they're gonna have big scoring outbursts and at the same time be able to have a lot of assists and getting their teammates involved. Actually, I'll give Jokić the edge because you can visibly see him make his team better. It's guys on that floor that are having successful years just simply based on playing and being on the floor with him. But Luka's unreal as well.
It's going to be one of those two. Those are the most complete players. Like Lou said, they get their teammates involved, but they also score the points. They have the most usage rate where the ball's in their hand, right? Luka, every single possession, he's making the play. So it's either he's getting someone involved, he's getting a hockey assist, or he's taking the shot. And you have to be extremely talented to do that. They're both big for their position, but they're both point guards. They both can switch. Neither of them are the best defending, guys in the league. But when you look at offensive-minded, the most complete players that can do it all, can handle, can pass, shoot, can score, it's those two guys.
I need a magic ball moment. Who will be the next to score 70?
Steph Curry wants in.
I got Steph Curry. Steph is next to have 70.
Guys,
I think he's going to get so frustrated.
Steph wants in.
He's going to go berserk where he's going to have like 18 threes in a game.
Because he's just so angry right now.
He's going to be pissed off. And it's going to be Steph Curry.
These are his types of conversations. These are his
hilarious.
moments.
I know.
He wants to be a part of this conversation.
Think about it. He's the
Washington's on
only
those.
one. It doesn't feel right that he's not on that board.
Yeah,
Right?
kind of weird to not have him on there. All right, we got a Clippers moment here. They won by 19 in Boston. Ty Lue described this one as a, quote, measuring stick performance for the team. I mean, you already thought they were legit contenders, so I don't know.
Right.
Does this do anything to add to that?
For me, I never look at one individual game as that makes me a contender. I beat this team. On any given night, anybody can beat anybody. So I don't really put a lot of stock into that. I put my energy towards them being 21-4 in the last 25 games. Since they figured it out, this team is rolling and they're scary, and it really doesn't matter who you're putting in front of them right now. They're just playing really good basketball. Obviously, Boston has been one of the top teams all year, and so for the Clippers to figure it out, go out there and get a big win and a statement win at that, I can understand where Coach Lue is coming from with saying this is a measuring stick performance. But I don't put stock in one game, but the last 25, they've been incredible.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this gives them confidence. They're going to know eventually they're going to have to go through the Boston Celtics. Maybe that's in the finals, or it's going to have to be in the finals. But they're the top team. They're everybody's favorite. And to hold them to 96 points, to play how they played, they're figuring it out. And I think with all that talk, how they shouldn't have done the trade, that's all now just an old memory. Now we got guys that are all bought into their roles. Everybody seems to be happy, and they know at this point in their career, whether PG, Kawhi, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, they're just being judged on winning. And they're doing that. Like Lou just said, they're 21-4 in the last 25 games. They're now earning the trust of the people around the league where they are a real contender because they can score and they can defend. They showed it, only letting the Celtics to 96.
I remember going to their game last week. They were down about 13 at the 6-minute mark. I tapped my nephew Julius. I said, come on, let's go. And then I looked at him, I said, let me see what they do after the timeout. And they went on an 18-0 run to close that game out. Down 13 at the 6-minute mark, getting a 10-point win just based on the firepower. Russell Westbrook having energy, playing, creating turnovers. Kawhi Leonard anchoring them down the stretch. And then once you deal with Kawhi, you forget that you have James Harden on ISOs. Paul George is in the corner. You have to guard all of these guys. You got to guard them straight up. You can't really help. And so that's a weapon that they've used. They've found something that works for them. And they're going to be a scary
And they're
outcome.
deep. They're deep. They got
For
Norman
sure.
Powell. They got Terrence Mann. They got these two bigs that can come in
And we always talk
replace
about
Zubac.
that. It's going to come down to bench play.
Yeah, and so rotations will shrink a little bit come postseason, but when you have the luxury, when they can almost afford an injury now because they just got guys to fill right in.
Don't put that in the universe.
I hope not, 'cause they
Good
are wrong.
Lord. Remember when we didn't think that would work?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun, right?
Those were fun days. Oh, the memories.
Feels like a long time
God,
ago.
it feels like 1,000 years ago.
It's like last season.
I know. It's like literally few weeks, it feels like. Shams, 5 straight. You heard them, 21-4 over the last 25. What's your biggest takeaway from what you're seeing from them?
The roles, 100%. It's like what Lou said, just being at the game, seeing the role that Russell Westbrook plays coming off the bench. He can literally change the tenor of a game. We spoke about it last week. I mean, he comes off the bench. Some days he might not have it, but like most nights, he brings a level of energy coming off that bench. James Harden has eased into that role as the point guard of this team. They've been searching for a point guard, a guy that can set the table for Kawhi Leonard, for Paul George. They've been searching for that guy for years. They finally got that in James Harden. And Kawhi Leonard, to me, has played for the most of this season as the best player on this team. He should be an all-star reserve. He's been healthy the majority of the season. And Paul George, he's healthy. I know he's been in and out of the lineup with this groin injury, but he's looking good as well. So this is a team that's healthy. And when I was around this team, the vibe I got is it's 4 players from LA. They all want to win a championship. They're all here to sacrifice. They're all here to win a championship. Kawhi Leonard signs an extension a few weeks ago for under the max contract. Paul George is in line next at some point. Then James Harden in the offseason after that. So this is a team that's committed, that seems to be sacrificing at the right time.
This team, one game out of the one spot. And this is, I think, a part of the season, too, where you see an old, mature team like this continue to win games. They're going to finish number 1.
I love the idea that they're like 4 dudes from LA just want to come on home and win.
Win it for their city.
For their city.
Put it all
The
on.
city doesn't even care.
No, they care about the other team.
I know, and that's such a bummer. Maybe this will do something for that. I hope. Moving on to the Embiid of it all, because, as you know, no show. It was the second matchup that we were going to see between he and Jokić, but he has now missed every game in Denver, dating all the way back to 2019, Chandler. What is the deal with that?
Yeah, this is my guy. I love him. This is a weird situation where I think the NBA is going to look into this and not let him do this anymore. This is you can't do this. This is the definition of load management. It just so happens to be against the other best big man in the league, which makes it worse. Almost like he's ducking Jokić. I don't think he's ducking him.
But he just played him in
But he kind of is.
I don't think he's ducking Jokić. He can't breathe in Denver.
Yeah, so it's the altitude.
It is
He
the
doesn't want to
worst
play in
place
Denver.
in
That's
the
what I was
world
just
to
looking
play.
up.
It's hard to breathe.
I was just looking up when was the last time that he played in Denver because I don't think
2019.
in 2019. I don't think this is a Jokić thing. He just showed what he could do against him.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes to play in Denver.
It's like he doesn't sit when the Nuggets come to Philly, so it's not exactly
Right.
that.
It's a Denver thing.
And this was so last minute that even like the broadcast crews were kind of thrown off. So do you think he gets there and he thinks, all right, this might be the trip, I can do it, and he tries to breathe and it's
looked
not
like-
I don't
good?
think he's going to ever play there for the rest of his career. That seems to be the trend, right? Like he's just,
Listen, it's been 5 years, Joel. I promise you, it's not that bad. It's gonna be a few minutes, and then you'll get over it. You'll be fine, bro.
what if it's Philly, Denver in the finals? Does he sit?
Oh
does he sit
my
out?
gosh.
So you better get some reps, because
Right.
by the way, that could happen.
That's
some reps.
100% happen.
You better get some reps there. You hit the Alter G or hit whatever with the altitude
I mean,
training. You can train. There's so much.
It's really not a big deal for real. You
I mean,
get
it's
o- you
at
get over
first,
that
right?
thing.
You acclimate.
Yeah, but
like you
you
would
know-
anywhere.
a few minutes, and then after
Yeah.
that, your body adjusts.
1, 2, 3 times. This is 5 years.
5 years worth
The
of
NBA, I guarantee you, looks into this and allows it and no more.
Yeah, they're not happy about it. Michael Malone was like, I don't know how you go from being active and available to out. I'm sure the league will do their due diligence because that's frowned upon. Shams, what can they do? Because this was kind of a big deal. This was nationally televised. It wasn't until before the game that we found out. Like, what will they do?
Joel Embiid did injure his knee the previous game, but he wasn't on the team's injury report the day before the game, wasn't on the injury report all day. He didn't enter the injury report, I'm told, until 15 minutes before tip-off. And for sure, that's something that the league will have to review. As Michael Malone said, and as every team in the league knows, the league will look into these situations, especially when it's a last-second scratch like this. When the player wasn't on the injury report, Michael Malone spoke to it. We didn't know that he was even a possibility that he would sit out. We've been preparing all day, and then 15 minutes, 5 minutes before the game, he's a scratch. At least if he was on the injury report, I think the Sixers this would be a different conversation. The league does tend to look into this situation. I would expect the same now.
What is interesting, like, how does the league decipher of what's real, what's not? Like, what if he had a headache? What if he had back spasms? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even get to that to even accuse someone of
don't know.
faking something for load management? That's what I'm saying. There's so many gray areas where
But I
they
wonder if
can't
because of
control
his
it.
track record there, if they take that into account, I don't know if he can even do that.
And did he practice the day before? He did shoot around that he doesn't play in the game.
No, he was literally warming up for the
Yeah,
game.
like, this one's tough. This one's tough.
If he was on the injury report going into the game, I don't think this would have been a question. I think everyone would have understood. It would have been something that was known. But the fact that he wasn't on the injury report, there was no mention of any injury. The Sixers were clearly preparing for him to play, and then 15 minutes before the game, he gets on the injury
And
report. Just how late that was, how tardy that was, I think it will be looked at.
I'm playing a little catch up here. On the first 5 years, was it like a game where he played, then missed in Denver,
I
and
think
then
some
played
have
again, or was
been.
he actually out for like a week or two or whatever when those games
Look,
happened?
I can't give you facts, but I can tell you in 5 years, it's a mix of both, I'm sure. Because there's no
yeah.
way he's always in a chunk of injured games.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
fishy.
I think it was one
Yeah, it's a
particular
good- I'm
it was
guessing.
one particular time that they really was saying that he was ducking Jokić because I believe he played in the game.
Yes.
Missed the Denver game, played again after that.
And by the way, shout out to the Denver fans who had their Embiid missing signs ready to go.
That
Like,
was
they were
quick.
ready.
That was quick, right?
They knew.
It's been 5 years, not that quick. They knew,
They knew.
they knew he wasn't playing.
And by the way, and they go to that game thinking, oh, he's actually
It
going to
sucks
play.
for the kids in Denver that love
does
Joel
suck.
Embiid too, that
Here
have
we go.
not seen him play in person in 5 years. A kid that
He's
used
a
to like
myth.
him at 5, he's now
He's a
10
myth.
years old, he's still playing Joel Embiid. It's kind of crazy.
He's never going to see a play. Give it
Yeah.
up, kid. Pick a new player. It's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
kid plays a different sport by
or
now.
move. It's one or
Yeah.
the other. LeBron James, don't know if you know, he's in his 21st season and had a night against the Warriors. This was a double overtimer, by the way. And he finished with 36 points, a career high 20 rebounds, and 12 assists. I don't know how many ways we can talk about how impressive he is. Maybe, do you have anything different to add? Can you add anything at this point?
Every single time we watch him play, we are watching history
Yeah, I
being
mean-
made at this point. I hadn't seen him on a run like this since 2010, his first year in
Wow.
Miami, when he turned villain. That was some of my favorite basketball to watch of LeBron when he was just angry and going to dunk everything. Had the black mask at one point. But this is impressive, man, to be an old man, staying on that rim. And he's getting better. It's almost like he's getting better. I'm seeing aspects of his game that I hadn't seen throughout the years. You know, he's become a better three-point shooter. better pull-up.
Tough shot.
Yeah, tough in the mid-range.
Yeesh.
He's just playing completely different, man. This is impressive.
Yeah, these aren't easy buckets, and the way he's doing it, he does it in such a variety of ways where he's still getting out in transition. He's one of the more exciting players still at 39 years old. So it's ridiculous what he's doing. If this team somehow wins a championship, it's the most impressive season of all time. Everything this guy's gone through, all the other, hot, great teams in the NBA. If this team, of everything he's done, if they somehow find a way, and I don't care if they make a move or they don't make a move, a championship for this guy, there's no more debate who's the best. This is the most impressive.
It's two people in sports that I've learned throughout the years to never bet against.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Patrick Mahomes
Damn right.
and LeBron James. Those two guys always give themselves an opportunity no matter what anybody's saying, no matter what the circumstances are. They always give themselves an opportunity.
Do you think the Lakers faithful will then accept him as a Laker if he were able to pull that off? Because it's still a little weird here. It's a little weird.
Yes.
I think they should be over that, but yes.
All right.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I just want to hypothetically ask you, if that could happen, what would they do?
If it does, it'll be insane, Michelle.
I mean, sure, it'll be insane. If I sprout 7 more legs, that would be insane too. But that's not going to happen either.
They just make you a spider.
Thank you. Warriors are 19-24, sitting in the 12th place in the Western Conference. And we saw the video, maybe you haven't, but Steph Curry is like ripping his jersey after the game, Hulk style. Again, there was a time when I'd say, of course they can get out of this hole, but it's a different time. Do you see a way?
No, I think this team, unless they make a move, which I still don't even think there's a move out there to put them in a level to compete with these other teams. So no, it's frustrating. You can see this, and this dates back to, months ago when you can clearly, he's frustrated in an interview. Is clearly his body language on the court. I've never seen this version of Steph Curry. So when you're seeing him rip his jerseys and roll his eyes, he's over it. And he's getting to the point, too, where they're the 12th seed. They're not even in the play-in. And again, it's a tough situation because do they actually move Klay Thompson or Draymond Green? Everything they've done for this organization, for the city, how would the fan base react? So they're kind of in. They don't have that many assets. No one really wants Andrew Wiggins. The Kuminga's now shown signs that he could actually be a real building block moving forward. But no, besides him being the next guy to score 70, I don't see what's going on. I don't see anything positive.
You haven't heard any of those guys say, like, we still feel good about where we are.
No,
they can't.
You haven't heard any of those type of conversations being had coming out of there. It looked like they're not having any fun. It's just a frustrating season from top to bottom. It started frustrating, still frustrating.
If they did say that, though, wouldn't you just kind of roll your eyes and be like, I'm not
No, because you've seen it before. You've seen this team.
It doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't feel the same, but you've seen this team go on historic runs, and so I would have to take that for face value until they prove me different. But still, the body language, the energy, the statements not being made. Every time that we hear about a statement, it's Steve Kerr complaining about refereeing at this point, and so it just feels different for this group right now.
And the league is just too deep. It's too talented. It's too good this season for, I think, them to even, and again, barring a move that they bring in something magical, which I don't see that.
Or crazy injuries elsewhere.
They've been in 12th in 6 weeks now. They hadn't moved, and so at this point we got to take it for what it is.
Too many teams better.
3-7 in the last 10. Shams, look, the deadline, as we have already mentioned, is 10 days away. Lakers and Warriors, I'm assuming, will both be active. What are you expecting?
Two teams on totally different ends right now. The Lakers won 5 of 7. I think they're going to keep doing their due diligence. DeJounte Murray's a name that you can look at right now, and if they were able to bring him in, potentially could elevate them even more. That's a game-changing player. I haven't heard any new movement in those conversations, but they're going to do the due diligence. The Warriors are on the other end of the stick. Like you guys just mentioned, they've lost 6 of 8 games. We've talked about it. We've discussed it. Everyone is on the table except for Steph Curry. And so when you think about it realistically, Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, those are 2 guys that they're high on. They want to keep long-term. They view as part of their core moving forward. They're going to take calls on Andrew Wiggins, Chris Paul. Could they get interest even on a guy like Klay Thompson? I think those are very much open conversations for the Warriors. They have to be open-minded. This is a team that's 5 games under 500 in that 12th spot, outside of the play-in. They've got a high tax bill as well. So this is a team that's reeling clearly. We'll see if there's going to be any moves over the next 10 days.
What's tough for them is, Kuminga, Podziemski, those guys are their future, but they don't believe in Draymond Green and Klay Thompson enough to even trade those guys to get something back to win now. That doesn't even make sense to do that. So it's the opposite. They have to now shop those two guys, keep the future pieces, keep Steph Curry, and see if you can get something in return for an Andrew Wiggins or a Chris Paul. But you can't. It's not possible.
It's weird. Obviously, anything's possible, but it's just so crazy for me to fathom Klay and or Draymond being traded anywhere else.
No, I picture them retiring and working for them years to come. They can't go to like
Klay rides his bike to work. Like
Can't.
you can't do that in most places. It's just not how it works. Moving on to Doc Rivers, feels like 1,000 years ago that all went down. But yes,
a lot of action. This
it's just a lot going on. Doc Rivers had an all-time quote on taking over the Bucks midseason, and I quote, "I've never done this. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. It's going to be a challenge." What now? What? I'm sorry. Did you get drafted into something? What is this?
If the Milwaukee Bucks called me out of this studio to coach a team, and it's my opportunity to join the team midseason as the head coach, I would really like it to be.
But we'll also give you $40 million.
Yes.
We give you $40 million and 3 All Stars to work with.
2 starters, by the way. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Well, that's up for
come on, Doc.
discussion.
I understand what you were trying to get across, but it didn't hit.
Do you?
He's never taken over someone's job. He's never
trying to take the edge off a little bit and tell people, hey, look, this is gonna be tough, and he's trying to get ahead of the narrative. Nah, Doc, this is no. You gotta perform, bro.
Yes.
You gotta make it happen. If anybody can do it, I believe in you, but. No, this quote didn't hit how you thought it would.
Something's in the water with Doc saying this, Tyronn Lue saying this is his biggest challenge with that talent team. I'm like, bro, go be Monty Williams. Go take over the Wizards.
Those are tough gigs.
That's a tough gig. I'm taking talent over anything all the time, and I get what he's never taken over a team halfway. He now has to earn their respect. He's got to go in there. He didn't have a training camp to put his.
They were 30
system.
and 13 when he got the gig. Like you're not taking over.
You're taking over
garbage.
the second best team with 2 starters and a deep team that's been there before. It's probably the best job to take over. So I don't understand this one bit. And he got $40 million.
It's guaranteed, all
Stop,
guaranteed.
Doc, I love you, but stop.
I know, I love Doc, but this one is not. It's not the one. Shams, can you tell us anything about maybe reaction from players upon learning that they got a new coach?
The 2 most important guys, Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you could tell the respect level they have for Doc Rivers. I think there's some hope that things will be different there, and they're going to have a new voice to look at, a guy that commands respect, a guy that they know has won and can manage them and can get more out of them defensively. That's the biggest side of the ball. This team has taken a step back this year. They've changed their methods. They've changed their schemes multiple times. Now Doc Rivers coming in. I think the players do have a level of confidence in Doc Rivers. He spent time around the team all weekend. He traveled with the team to Denver. He's going to make his coaching debut tonight against the Nuggets. So there is optimism that Doc Rivers will be an upgrade over what they had previously. He's also hired Dave Yeager and Rex Kalamian as his lead assistants for his new coaching staff. So I think this is an upgrade. The question is Doc Rivers going to be enough to take this team to the next level?
I mean, it's not a soft first game.
Hell of a
say
game
that.
to come
Like
back
that's
for.
a tough. It's a tough entree.
Yeah.
Quick break. Oh, I'm not asking. Quick break. Coming up, scoops and that man.
I got to pee.
We'll be back. I don't know why I looked at you.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up. The running back, yeah. Run it up, run it back.
Ooh, that sound can mean one thing and one thing only. Time for the scoops with Shams. Man, Saturday's game for the Knicks was something, but the Julius Randle injury was a bit of a downer. Shams, what's the latest?
It's expected Julius Randle will miss at least a few weeks with that shoulder dislocation. He had x-rays that showed that dislocation. He underwent an MRI over the weekend. I'm told there has been optimism after the initial reviews of that MRI. He's been undergoing multiple second opinions ever since that MRI on Saturday night. Those have been ongoing. And so they're trying to get a full picture as far as the timetable, exactly the extent of the injury. There has been some optimism, which is good news for the Knicks and hopeful for the Knicks that this is not a long-term season-ending surgery type of injury. But anytime you have an injury like a dislocation, it's all about what happens afterward. What's the MRI like? What's the damage? Is there significant damage? And what else comes through in that testing? So far, there is a level of optimism.
I think they're, 12-2 since the Anunoby trade. It's been quite the fun ride to take for this Knicks team. They just got to stay sort of in that area. They can do that without Julius for a bit, right?
I mean, I don't think they're contenders with him, so I don't think that's the question. But I think what? You think the Knicks are a contender this year?
It's just tone. Go ahead.
I know it's the delivery. It's like
Okay,
you're a heart surgeon.
I don't think they're gonna win a championship.
You're gonna
this year,
die,
right?
said the doctor.
Yeah, I don't think, but yeah, I think they can find ways to stay afloat. I think how they, a guy stepped up like Isaiah Hartenstein when Mitchell Robinson went out. Now someone else has to step up with Julius Randle out. And they have Jalen Brunson playing at an all-star starter level. They have OG, who's now giving them this whole version of defense and versatility. So there are going to be more roles where I can see them going smaller now, have Josh Hart play the 4. And they can hang in there and kind of stick in that 4 or 5 range. But a contender? No. Well,
No, I like the storyline. I think we're going to see some of the best basketball we've seen out of Jalen Brunson, considering he's probably going to feel like he's an all-star snub.
He is.
And OG, this is an opportunity for OG to really show the Knicks fans who he really is, with Julius Randle being out, being able to take on a bigger role.
Chomps, what's up?
Let's give some love to Julius Randle, though. I know there's some flack. Michelle, you live in New York. I'm sure there's a lot of flack at different points with Julius Randle, but he has not missed a game so far this season. Tonight's the first game he's missed. He's played through ankle surgery at the beginning of the season. He's been durable, and his value to the team, I think we're going to see it. The scoring that he provides with Jalen Brunson, you need another guy. And I think the R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley trade, the guy that it helped the most is Julius Randle, because it freed up the guy that you really want to have touches. That's Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson, 24-9-5 this season. His splits have gotten better. And listen to this, most 20 and 10 games by a Knicks player over the last 25 years. So Julius Randle has been putting in work, and I think we have to give him credit.
It's a complicated relationship Knicks fans have with Julius Randle, but right now they're in the love period. So it's a bummer, the timing on this one. All right, the NBA announced there's an All Star game, new event. Shams, talk to us.
Yes, Stephen Curry and Sabrina Ionescu will have a 3-point shootout at All-Star Weekend. I'm told it's going to be on Saturday night, and it's going to likely have a charity component to it. It's not going to be part of the actual 3-point contest, but it's going to be a separate thing that the league, the WNBA are going to team up on doing. Sabrina Ionescu has the record for 3-pointers made, for points made in a 3-point contest in the WNBA. Steph Curry, we know about his prowess. He has the NBA's record for most points, most 3-pointers made in a contest. So they're going to be facing off. I know Lou is a big fan of this event.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I think, with so us trying to find so many different things to do, All-Star Weekend, we've thrown around the idea of one-on-one and all of these other things. This is an event that I can roll with. And I'm going to shake the tree up a little bit. I'm going with Sabrina.
Oh!
Let's do it. Shout out to Winners United, my young ladies women's basketball team that I coach. We wear her shoes. We're big fans. I'm going with Sabrina.
Yeah, I do love this too. This is these girls could play. They could shoot the ball. This is a chance where the whole world can see it going up against that. Everyone knows Steph Curry's the best shooter ever.
I think this is going to be fun.
Kind of hope she wins.
Why didn't we think of this? This seems almost obvious. Why didn't we think of this? I feel like we were behind on that one. Dang it. Shams, we've been busy thinking about 1,000 other events. Didn't get to this one. Love you, mean it. See you tomorrow bright and early. Mm-hmm. And now we will go to That Man Has a Family. And we start with the best moment. I believe they call this the Sham God.
Oh.
If he would have dunked that, by the
we
way.
might have been wrong about the Rookie of the Year thing.
Oh,
What? No.
what? No, you are.
No.
You are 1,000% wrong.
Because Chet is about to be an All-Star reserve and win Rookie of the Year.
And
Maybe you're right.
you just put them up next to each other. Who's better?
But I like this.
If he would have dunked that
He'd have
ball,
dunked that out of here.
this guy can really do it all. Michelle, we love him.
Great.
love him.
I'm glad I'll tell him. I'm sure he'll sleep
Yeah.
better tonight at 9:30 when he goes to bed.
Do not text him after that. All right, here comes
yeah,
the
yeah.
Caucasian.
Here we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Here
There it is. He
Back to our regularly scheduled
by,
program.
Yeah, look at, there's
Two
two
of
of them, and he blew by one.
Two of them.
It's 3.
There's 3 of them. Wait a minute.
That is a hate crime.
That's not 3.
Gather around.
Well,
we gotta
Pritchard
get
got
straight.
Well, it
blown
is
by,
kinda-
and
yeah,
then
you're kinda 3.
you know we gotta take charges
Gotta
and
give
swipe,
for
fellas. We
everybody,
don't
Kawhi.
jump.
Come
Charges and swipe or foul him.
You should just teach
That's
a
the
camp
rule
to white
change
dudes.
we need. Stop the verticality, white guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Go back to the Bill and Beer rules.
Yeah. Put him on the ground.
White.
It's not our strength.
Wow.
Pritchard, sick post defense, by the way, too.
I mean, it's kind of right.
This was insane.
Oh, that's stupid.
This was,
That is dumb.
this was nuts.
But what was the end result of this game? I don't remember. Oh, that's right. The Spurs won. Eat it, Chandler.
Great. Oh, they get the 6th pick instead of the
Whatever,
instead
man.
of the 3rd.
They're building. Progress is happening, and I like it.
This was
West
nuts.
side.
That's pretty good. That's a dumb angle.
He could be pissed off that he's not starting two seed in the West. Like he should be up
There's
there
some
too.
good arguments, I think.
Got to get the
That is-
fans out the vote.
That is nuts.
Gotta
Yeah,
get
we
the
blame
fans out.
the fans, right?
Oh,
I think.
boy.
There it is.
Welcome back to your regular scheduled
There it is.
program.
Mr. Kessler with the
Kessler,
verticality. just
Nobody
like they
does
taught
the
you.
vert. Yeah.
Just like they
This is
taught
the
you.
problem.
I'm looking ahead, and I'm like, oh,
You know what I mean? This is what you're taught for years to do, but guys are too athletic, guys are too talented. This
what, to
doesn't
just
work.
go straight up?
So you
Because
don't-
we
there's
know
no
what's
foul.
I actually remember being taught that in like 5th grade.
Instead of getting I'd rather get a foul than get nuts in my face.
Wow. And that's without the
Howard
alcohol, Lou. I
kicking.
hope you feel good. Vegas is
Vegas is
gonna
gonna be right.
Be wasted by 2 o'clock in Vegas.
It's perfect. Yes.
Oh,
This was the craziest thing he's done, I think. This was an insane block. He cuffed it.
I mean, it's silly. There's so much to look at, and then he's there.
He almost
Like I'm
hits
looking
his
at
head.
2 other things before we get.
He would have hit his head on the backboard if he didn't duck.
That's
this.
just, it's an amazing. That's my rookie of the year right
Crazy.
there.
It's runner-up rookie of the year. What a year.
Right.
Hell of a season.
Here we go. Gav.
Oh, the gift.
Oh,
Dang it! I thought we were gonna get.
I thought we had one for the home
I
team.
thought something was about to.
We thought we had one for the home team. And
yeah.
just as we
Now I
look
gotta
at
change that narrative
look at
today.
their bench.
Lou was even like excited
Their
about
bench
it.
two got up and then got back down real quick.
Oh, buddy.
man, Lori.
He went in hard.
Damn, Lori.
Oh, well.
Good block.
Oh yeah.
That was a great block.
See, you
look at the
notice
bench,
he's
look
not
at the
going
bench.
vertical. He's going to beat it up. He's going to block
look at
it.
the-
that little verticality.
No verticality
Look
there.
at the bench. Look at the bench.
You're like, oh, that's where you play it off, act like there's a bug, and sit back down.
We really thought that was going to be something,
For sure.
and it wasn't. Curry. Let me see.
Oh my.
Oh, gosh.
Come here, AD.
Yeah.
Well, below the
Down
rim.
over
Where
there.
is it?
Below the rim action here.
I mean, good for him for even trying, AD, chasing him around like that. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's tough to do.
That's
That's tough to do.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it.
You have to stay so close to him, obviously, and then he just comes right back.
And then there's nothing you can do.
Was the clock running down? Oh yeah.
Woo! Coming up, we're gonna take a look at some players whose
Yeesh.
stock is going up when Run It Back returns.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Ooh, oh, that's a great sound effect. Yeah, we're halfway through the season, pretty much, almost, kind of, and so we want to know whose stock right now, in these guys' opinion, is going up. Players, coaches, everybody, you guys, go.
Let's do
I'm gonna
it.
chill and walk.
It made me wear shoes for this, Lou.
I'm wearing
Let's
shoes
do
too,
it.
But
I got my,
Alrighty.
I'm styling and profiling. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, I like that. Okay, all right. Who's leading this
I
thing?
think, Lou, you're up first
Yeah,
here.
I'll lead us. First up, I got Cam Thomas of the Brooklyn Nets. Started 21 games this year. In those 21 games, averaging 23 points a game. Also, what I'm most impressed about Cam Thomas, earlier this year, he said he was willing to do whatever it takes for this team to be successful, whether it's coming off the bench, whether it's to be a starter. I love the attitude of a young 22-year-old guy who's trying to find his footing in the league. One of the best scorers, one of the best young scorers. So my stock is going up on Cam Thomas.
I love Cam
And
Thomas.
Ain't funny with Cam Thomas. He's all business.
Cam Thomas is someone, too, you can plug on any team, any system, and he is a bucket getter. I love that pick. Mine, a little more obvious than this. I like Jalen Williams. He's been an absolute stud ever since he was drafted 12th out of Santa Clara. He made the huge rookie year last year, and now he's even made a bigger jump this year. He's averaging 18.6 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He's arguably the most versatile player. If Shea wasn't on this team, he is their go-to guy. He leads them in fourth quarter points. He's tied with Luka Doncic in the fourth quarter, with 14th in the NBA in the fourth quarter scoring. So he's been most consistent. He started 42 games. He plays a lot of minutes, plays 32 minutes a game. This kid is a bona fide stud, and he's going to be an all-star one day.
I love it, man. Considering he's one of those pieces from that young core, He gives them another look. Like you said, he plays very up-tempo, perfect fit for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm buying stock in this
20-plus point games 19 times this season. He's at over 20 points.
Fire.
Kid's instead. Now the other way.
He's good at TikTok too.
Now we're going the other way.
No, hold on.
Oh no, we got one more.
Hold on, I got one more because I want to show love to one of my young rookies. This is one of my personal rooks. Very good kid, has an opportunity to play. I'm buying stock in Jalen Johnson. Jalen, stay off of that rim. Nobody's safe under there. He's always a rim threat. 18-minute increase in minutes being played, and he's taking full advantage of them. Last year he was averaging 5.6. This year he's averaging 15 and 8. Quite possibly, and he's shooting 55% from the field. Quite possibly one of our most improved players candidates.
Yeah, when you look at a jump like this from 5 to 15, I think that is the most improved player. This kid has made such a leap. You can clearly this summer he spent time. He's always been athletic. He plays above the rim, but now he's putting a little more, skill to his game. He's shooting 55% from the field, which is outrageous for a wing. He's not forcing everything. He knows his role. He's defending. This kid also buying high stock in him. The jump from year 1 to 2 has been really impressive.
It's 3. Is it 2 Jalen's in a row?
Now,
Two
bad
Jalen's.
here, Michelle. Stock down.
Oh, we're doing bad. Okay.
I'm going.
3.
By the way, there's a lot of Jalen's.
Wow.
I think we hit every Jalen.
Every
We got
Jalen
Jalen Green. Listen, I think this kid, number 2 pick overall in the draft. The Rockets are struggling. They're 3 and 8 over their last 11 games. I think everyone expected this kid. When you look at his numbers, they're still very good. This kid is extremely talented, but when you see the decrease in points per game, you never want to see that. You want to see young kids have jumps. You want to see them continue to rise. I don't think he's in the great situation where he doesn't have a lot of structure. I think Udoka is going to help him eventually, but this kid, he's a high volume shooter. His field goal percentage is down to 40%. He doesn't really get his other teammates involved. So this kid has the talent to figure it out and be an all-NBA type of guy. But I wanted to see a jump from him, so I'm off him right now.
You just got to find a rhythm. When you're dealing with a young player and you put so much stock into him to carry a organization, he has to find a way to create better opportunities for himself on the offensive end. Shot selection is going to be a problem for him. Got to watch some film, find his spots on the floor where he's going to be successful. I think he figures it out, but right now, stock is going down. And with that being said, I'm going to go out to the Bay Area. The person that stock is going down for me is going to be head coach Steve Kerr. We've seen so many highs with that organization, so many highs with that coach. Now, at this point, that what we're seeing now, we don't love it. Every time we're seeing coach on screen now, it's a complaint about the referees. The body language is bad. This team hadn't gotten it together, so I'm losing stock. I'm going to sell.
I agree. When you look at the situation at hand, all the drama, all the theatrics they've had, a lot of that does fall on the coaching staff. Coaches are consistently fired for what he's going through. So I do think that everything he's done for this organization, he's one of the greatest coaches of all time, but I don't know how much longer he has here with kind of this season, how negative everything is surrounding, how frustrated he's been. I think the stock here is going down, but again, I think he'll have a safe job anywhere
Usually we
else.
see him make really, really good in-game adjustments. He finds lineups that works, that's successful. He finds those diamonds in the rough, those young guys that he can put out on the floor. He's struggling with finding that with this particular group. It's just not a good look right now.
You heard it here. Stock's going down, stock's going up.
That's tough. That's a tough one for me. I don't like that.
You don't like Steve Kerr?
I like Steve Kerr.
I don't like it either because
It's not
I
an
really
easy
enjoy
job
coach.
for anybody.
I really enjoy watching Steve Kerr
you wouldn't
coach,
wish
but,
that.
You wouldn't wish
has
that
to share.
job on anybody.
Has to share the blame.
All right, fair enough. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at tonight's Timberwolves Thunder matchup.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up.
FanDuel is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season because right now new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Bet on the NBA with a wide range of bet types, including quick bets, live same-game parlays, player props, and more. Download the app today. Make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. So it came out over the weekend, and then obviously there'll always be snubs, but it felt like there were some that hurt more than others. The All Star game starters. Dame Lillard got the nod over Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. That felt weird. And in the West, LeBron got the nod over Kawhi. Probably more explainable. Do we need to change the way this entire thing gets done? Because it doesn't feel right.
I think there could be some adjustments, and also I can't argue the LeBron one we talked about earlier. This is a great season. This is a historic season for his age. To me, Damian Lillard, I don't get this. He's had a great year. The numbers are fantastic, but when you look at these other guys, I would have preferred Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton to get that starting spot. They've carried their teams. They don't have a Giannis on their team. So to me, that's the big one. Kawhi Leonard, obviously, he's healthy. He's back. Not everyone's going to make it every single year, but yeah, I think it's a little bit the players voting. If the players get a vote, I'm not, and I hate someone, I'm not voting for them, so it's a little skewed. But the fans, the media, I don't know how they change it, but yeah, there's always going to be this conversation where there's a snub each and every
Well,
year.
Halliburton is a starter.
Oh, he is.
But you could make the call that like a Maxey maybe got
Maxey or
screwed.
Brunson, but
yeah, Brunson for sure.
Brunson's he's probably the one.
Yeah.
I said it at the beginning of the season, we're going to see some of the best basketball being played this year, and everybody's showing up and showing out. I think there could be some guys that are interchangeable, but it's only 5 spots, and you have 8 to 9 guys on both sides that's playing really well that deserves the opportunity to be starters, and so I don't think you ever get this right.
I know, but look, I'm not even saying anything bad about Damian Lillard. It's just this isn't the season in which I would put him above the others. It just feels weird. But it's 50%
I could agree with you, but it's half of it is a fan vote.
Yeah.
And Damian Lillard, he's
stupid.
been around for a while. Kids love him. The shoes, the game time, the game winners. That's going to impact more than well, not Indiana, but like new Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Maxey. They're not as
not the
known.
right
And you have to think he has his own shoe. Of course, he had. They had promotions and all of that type of stuff that's on his side that the other guys probably won't have until they get to a point where they're respected as a Dame Lillard. So
I want to know how the
there's the
NBA,
difference.
like the NBA players are 25% of the vote. Do they make you vote? Do you have to voluntarily
have
go?
to.
How's that
you
work?
don't have to.
You
It's
can-
like
you basically
come
fill
in
out,
and fill it out on a little app.
So it's there, like they're just like, hey, have you done this today?
Yeah.
And you don't write your name on it either.
I'm willing to bet 90% of us probably don't even do it for real.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I
I did it.
Really?
There's 50%.
There you go.
There you have it.
That is not
And
good.
a lot of times you're just voting for your own teammates. Like I guarantee you, all the Bucks voted for Damian Lillard. Obviously, they're
You're
probably
right.
voting for Chris Middleton. Like you vote for your guys. You
You're
vote for your
competing
boys.
against these people. So you're really not, when you're in the season, you're really not paying attention to what somebody else is doing.
Like, do you think
So
Devin
honestly, you
Booker
don't even
voted
know.
for Luka?
okay.
Like, no. Like, there's just no way.
You just can't.
No.
By the way, Steven Adams got vote. That's what Conrad just told me in my ear. That's not right. You guys aren't taking it seriously. This is your civil duty.
That's Steven Adams hasn't
specific.
played
It was one year
game.
Nate Robinson was doing a whole campaign on Twitter to get people to vote him in the game. He got close. Zaza Pachulia.
That
Jeremy
That's another
Lin
guy.
almost made it.
Yeah.
It's the fan base is a big part of it.
Was there one
50%.
last year too? Was it Andrew Wiggins?
Wiggins did
Yeah,
start.
that was a big one
He
too.
started, yeah.
I know it is kind of broken a little bit, but
We
I
just
don't.
can't. I don't know
can't
how we
take away
get
the
this
vote.
right.
I don't know how we get it right either. But I will say this: if having Jalen Brunson be mad results in the types of games that they've had as a result of this, then
And now with Randall out, he's gonna have
keep it up.
more chance. Yeah.
I say, who cares about the All Star game?
He still
Win.
gets in though, but
Yeah.
it's a different thing to say I'm an All-Star starter and an All-Star reserve. But he still gets in. Congrats on a great season. This is one of many to come. Jalen Brunson is going to be one of those guys. He ain't going nowhere.
By the way, where are we on our hashtag Let Shams Play? I forgot. I think,
Oh, yeah, is
I
that
think
an
we dropped
All-Star?
the ball on that.
There's another All-Star snub. Did he get in? Did
We don't
Shams
know
get
yet.
in?
The big celebrity list hasn't been revealed.
We gotta look into that.
That'll do it for us. We will be back tomorrow with some more Run It Back. It never works.
Got it.
See all that? No, barely. That doesn't.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, and run it back, run it up.